Okay, everyone. Lots of projects going on around here. You're about this week. Yeah, and I've made a mess. You can see why I am zooming in. There we are. Ignore all the stuff that's nothing to do with this mould. You haven't seen it, right? Anyway, yes, what I'm going to do today is I want to have another go using this mould. I've had a couple of goes. I have made videos. It's been, let's just say, I've not done anything that's even been remotely successful. Not enough to even warrant editing the videos. I've just ended up with one big solid coloured blur. So anyway, what I'm going to try and do is one of these dotted, you know, these dotted firework, and then chuck it in the middle. And is it a dragon flower? Is it I don't know what it is, but they're very, very pretty. So I do want to have a go. So I'm going to get some things together. I've got the resin, which will be a deep pour resin, so it's nice and thin to allow the stuff to move. I'm going to get some colour pigments together, and I'll also get a needle tip bottle, because I want to try doing the drops with a needle tip bottle rather than a piping bag, because I'm really rubbish with piping bags. So let's see how we get on. So the pigments I've chosen are this green. Everybody loved this when I used it in a little lizard recently, gecko or whatever it was. Must admit, it's one of my favourites. I'll put you the links for all these pigments down below. I've got a coffee colour, and I've got a slightly lighter coffee colour. It's called caramel, that. I have got some black handy as well, and of course I've got some white. Kind of wanted to try to use all the same brand though, so I will see if I can find the black in this one too, if I need it. The resin I will be using is the deep pour one from Apex, and it's called Deep Cast. So, say from Apex, it's the Apex resins from Just For You Online. Now, many of you will know that I don't do maths. People, please stop telling me to weigh things. I just don't do maths, okay? Let's leave it at that. So this is as good as it gets, and it works for me. I very, very rarely have any curing issues, and it's usually when I've just, and I know where I've done, and it's a proper screw up. Not just because I've not measured properly, it's because I've actually had a complete brain fart and ruined it. So this is how I do it. 2 of those little shot glasses of the one resin, and 4 of the other. I just hope there's enough room in that pot. So this is the actual resin. Now the reason I'm using deep pour resin is because that will give it time and the fluidity. That's a good word, isn't it, for this time of day? The fluidity to move around. Now I'm probably mixing up way too much here, but I'd rather mix up way too much and have some left over for a side project than not mixed up enough and have to mess about, because this technique doesn't really leave much scope for messing about. You've kind of got to crack on with it. Okay, back with the resin. Now the funny thing I find about deep pour resins is that, I don't know, there's something about them that means that it doesn't seem to go clear when you're stirring. Normally, with most resins, you get to the point where that's it, it's thoroughly mixed, and you can see you've lost all this sort of streakiness from it. But for some reason, it doesn't seem to happen with deep pour resins. However, I can stir it more quickly because the bubbles just don't manifest. That's another big word. What's the matter with me today? But the bubbles don't manifest themselves in the same way that they do with thicker resins. And they just drop out so fast. So all I'm doing is going round and round, and I must get one of those resin stirrers to try. Let's think about that. But I've now been stirring this for a good couple of minutes, and you see, it still hasn't gone that amazing clear that you can still see lines in it. Isn't it weird? Anyway, it's what it does, and I've been stirring it for a couple of minutes, so I am sure that's okay. Now, what we're going to do then is pour some into little pots. I'm going to need to keep back some clear. I am going to pour a pot that will be my lightest colour. I will pour a pot that will be my in-between colour. And I'm going to be keeping some clear. But I am going to need quite a lot of what's going to be the darkest colour. And then I'm going to need some for white, aren't I? Actually, I'm not going to need clear because I'm doing that like fireworky effect first of all, aren't I? So anyway, I've got several pots. That's the main thing. Now, let's get these mixed up. You've got plenty of working time, of course, because it's so runny and it does take a good couple of days to cure. So this is my lovely green. I think I'm going to put a bit more colour in that. Now these aren't overly heavily pigmented, these this range of pigments, so they're quite good for things where you want some more sort of subtlety. And I think I want them translucent. I think I do. The only thing you have to watch, of course, is that you can't put more than 10% absolute maximum of a liquid pigment into your resin because it'll stop it curing. If you want to put a lot of pigment, use a powder. Pastes are a lot stronger, of course, so if you can get away with using a lot less pigment to achieve what you want with the pastes. Caramel, that sounds nice, doesn't it? And I've put quite a few drips again because I do want that to be a fairly strong colour. So let's give him a stir. Oh, that's nice. Oh, look at that. It really does look like caramel, doesn't it? Right, and for my final colour, let's put actually another little drop of that. Yeah, that's the right one. I've noticed lately colours that go in and out of fashion at the moment, and maybe it's because we've got autumn coming up, maybe people are thinking Halloween, and there's a lot of lovely sort of coffees and dark browns and yeah, rich colours like that going around, chocolates and things like that, which is rather nice, isn't it? Makes a change. Bit back it was all sort of turquoises and blues. Now, my darkest colour, I think we'll use this pot. I'm putting quite a lot of pigment in. I want this to be really quite dark. I might even end up adding a dot of an opaque black. Let's see. That is really dark, isn't it? And yet it doesn't say it's black. No wonder I thought it was black in the bottle. So this is called coffee. When they said coffee, they meant black coffee, I think. But you can see it's just slightly off being completely black. So that's really nice. Then the final one I want to mix up, I really am going to have way loads left over. I'm going to put into my needle tip bottle some white. Now, I believe we want some of this to be quite strong, the one for the dots. So I'm going to put a few extra dots in my little bottle than I've got in here, because we're going to need two lots of white, one that's quite milky like so, and one that's a lot more definite white. I think this is how it goes. Oh, Petra Gerbrakto, I hope I've said your name right, and the lady from Art, you two are the gods of these techniques. If you watch this, sorry. Do you like my tiny funnel? Isn't it cute? I just know I've tried piping bags for various things in the past. Not this, but for various things. I've tried, you know, and I just get in a right old mess. I'm utterly rubbish with them. I'm going to do the Daniel Cooper trick, which is put a ball bearing in it, because that helps you to shake it up. So I have got a little tub of ball bearings. Here they are. Let's go for 2. Ooh! Ball bearings going everywhere. Not worried about putting the springy thing on because it's, you know, this thing on because it's not going to be in this bottle for very long. So I'm just going to keep rolling that round and mix so it mixes. Now, I believe what you do, so I've got this still doing that in this hand while I'm doing everything else. I believe what you do is you chuck your darkest colour in first, starting around the edges. And as you can see, this is quite dense now. That does look like black to me. Isn't that weird? But I think you pour around the edges first so that you've got a bit of inward movement going on already. Don't know if that's correct, but that's what it looks like to me. And then you pour your next colour, which is this beautiful caramel. Then your next colour, which is my favourite, pretty green. And then I believe what you do is you start putting the dots of your white in. So I'm just going to give this a last good shake. And now, this is what I understand you do next. Actually, let's give it a little torch first. Get the bubbles off. I'm trying not to blast straight onto the mould, of course. So with this needle tip bottle, I'm getting really tiny dots. Maybe I could be putting the dots closer together, I don't know. But it's certainly making easy work for me of getting similar sized dots, which is good. It's starting to pull already. Ah, that's wonderful looking. Right, now I'm going to try and go in between. Oh, this is like magic. Oh, I hope this works. I've tried the Larimar effect. As I said, I keep getting just a stodgy mess. I'll have another go sometime. Okay, come on, be honest. How many of you are fast forwarding? Now, if you are fast forwarding, you won't hear that and you won't be able to answer. Haha, don't know why I asked. How many of you aren't fast forwarding? How many of you are shouting at the screen, no, you don't do it like that, or you should have put more white in that, Tracy. I'm wondering if I should have put more white in this. I'm also quite aware that I'm starting to go off centre, so I'm going to try and come back a little bit. I'm also not sure exactly how far to go in towards the centre. I think when I've seen Petra do it, it's about something like that. Crikey, I'm getting through this rather. That's doing something mad on the other side. Now, I believe what we do next is we go like this around the edges. Might have to mix some more of this white up in a minute. Using more than I thought, to be honest. I think I'm doing these loops a bit too big, maybe. I don't know. They're meant to be more like M's. I'm sort of doing something weird. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I start with a plan sometimes, you know, honestly. Yeah, going round again. Probably shouldn't be. Okay, have I got enough left to do another ring of dots? If not, I'll make some more up. Thank you, by the way, to all those people who told me how to clean out needle tip bottles afterwards. I have got some alcohol, so I will try that. Oop. Got a line there instead of a dot. I don't know whether these dots are even big enough. I might end up with too fine an effect here, mightn't I? What I can see, though, I don't know if you can see that, but these are starting to sink. I'll put a few more dots. I want to keep going a bit, actually. I have got enough. I wasn't sure. I don't think I've got enough to do loops around again. M's. Certainly haven't got enough to do W's as well as M's. That's making my hand hurt. Right. I don't know whether I don't think maybe my white was strong enough in that little bottle there. But let's see. And apparently what you do now is you dump that creamy, semi-opaque white in the middle. I just think this is just going to flood the whole thing and the whole thing's going to go white. I'm not seeing it pushing out and pulling back in like I thought it would. I also don't think I've got it very central, but hey. It looks like it's all sunk to me. Maybe that should have been clearer. You know, less white in it. Dunno. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have a clear up and I'll see you. I'll see you for the demold. I'm gonna chuck what's left of these colours into, there's not a lot left, into these little little jewellery blanks that I've usually got standing by in case of leftovers. Right, see you for the demold. I'm going to leave this on time lapse, I think. Well, I'm not overly optimistic about these. For a start, I dropped a hair across the back of this one at some point, so there's a line anyway, and this looks like it's just gone muddy. We'll see. Oh, well, absolutely not what I intended, but kind of weird and pretty anyway. That mould's nice, isn't it? Sparkly edge. I must find where I got that from. But yeah, that really wasn't what I intended. Anyway, weird. Let's see what happens with this one. Ooh, this one's still bendy. I don't know why when the other one's rigid. Anyway, let's see. Same again. Weird. Not even nice, that one. I think that might even be one for the bin. That's a shame. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Interesting though that the dots kind of worked. Well, sort of. They dotted. They didn't. Oh, I don't know. But I have got a nice smoked effect with the colours. And they've got a weird ripply back. I don't know where I'm going wrong. I shall persevere. Anyway, if you've enjoyed me, my epic fail. Nice mould though. Look at that. Yeah, anyway, where were we? If you've enjoyed my epic fail and would like to see more instalments of me trying this again at some point, then I will continue to persevere. This is going in my epic fail folder, but never mind. That's what it's there for. Failures are simply a route to learning. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Oh well, if you've liked it in some weird way, please give me a thumbs up. And I'll look forward to seeing you for the next episode of Tracy Has Another Go. See you then, folks. Bye.